Everybody, Miss Ashley here with a new cooking video for you. So, today's video is going to be how to make a quick supper using only 3 ingredients. So, this is going to be a ground beef and potato and onion supper. So I had leftover ground beef. I was like, what am I gonna do with this? And I had some potatoes that were like on this side of like going bad, so they had to be used. And then I had some onions. I'm like, well, you know what? Let's do a ground beef, potato, and onion supper. So my grandma actually used to make this, and I'll tell you, she's gonna make it better than I'm gonna make it because grandmas always make things better. Just saying. But she would make mashed potatoes with ground beef and onions. So that's what we're going to do today. So you have to have potatoes, some onions, some ground beef, and the secret ingredient, which is just regular old brown gravy mix. That's it. So I've already chopped up my potatoes. I have some of them boiling away in my little stock pot here. I've got some red onions that I'm just simmering right now. But I have cut up a regular old yellow onion, and I've cut these ones into the long little strips because I kind of like having them. They soak up the gravy. It's a personal preference. You can finely chop them, but I just have them on little slices. So I'm going to add this to my chopped up red onion. You could use just regular yellow onions, but I happen to have a red onion and I thought, well, I may as well use it. This is like a use up video, so I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna add this in, get this simmering. I have olive oil in the pan already, so these are just going to kind of break up a little bit. The beef fat will also cook the onions. So for the potatoes, I have most of them already boiling away, but I'll show you how I cut potatoes. So you could peel this, and you could probably take a very long time, or you cut it. So you take your little potato. I cut the end, other end, so it can kind of lie or just stand up straight like that. Then I just cut the sides off. And I try to just follow the curve. And this is how you are just making noise. This is how I cut my potatoes. Because, you know, she ain't got time to peel a potato for like an hour and a half. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We like quick and easy here. So there we go. She done. Cut like that. Little pieces. And just throw it in. So this has already been salted. You add salt to the water for some flavor. Again, take the ends off, stand it up, and then just... Now, I will say that you may take off a lot more potato doing it this way, but if you're careful, you just... Look at that. Is she pretty? A pretty potato. Okay, oops, I missed a spot. There we go. And then I just cut it in half. Bam! Look at that. It's like what? 20 seconds? That's right, it's a good tip. Put that in. Okay, so those need to cook for about 25 to a half an hour. These are pretty small potatoes. They're small potatoes. But they still need to boil for a while. So I just put regular salt in, but if you want to get kind of fancy, you can add some dried soup mix, which I happen to have. So let me grab some. I have some regular beef bouillon right here, and this will impart flavor into your potatoes. So if you don't have it, just use regular salt. If you have it and you want to get fancy, add a little bit to this. So I'm going to add a good old whopping teaspoon here, or small spoon. Look at that. I'm gonna put it into my potatoes. You can use beef, you can use chicken, you can use vegetable. It just is there to add flavor. Because I'm doing ground beef, I thought ground beef is just natural. It's natural kind of relationship here. So this you can just get rid of, compost it. Usually my dog eats it, but my dog's not here. But I will save this for her because she likes a little bit of potatoes. You know, she's on this girl. So I'm going to stir my onions up. They're getting nice and glossy. So now you want to add a little bit of salt to your onions. A little bit of salt. A little bit of pepper. Like that. Mix it around. Mix it around. Okay, so now you want to add your ground beef. It's in a Ziploc because I got one of those big family packs and I couldn't use all of it at once, so I kind of just like take little bits for a different meals. So this is the leftover bits of that big family pack. That's why it looks kind of not so great. But it's okay because it is fresh, I promise. So I'm just gonna dump this into my little onions. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. And so the ground beef, the fat, is actually going to help cook my onions and impart flavor. So we need flavor here. But now I also like to add a bit of paprika. You can use Hungarian paprika, you can use regular paprika, whatever you happen to have, or just leave it out if you don't like it. I happen to like it, so I'm going to put some into my ground beef. Once I find it. Found it. I just eyeball this, you know, I'm just eyeballing a little bit. Here we go. Okay. Let me just move you so you can see what I'm doing over here. Oh, there you go. You could see me this whole time. Okay, so now I have the paprika in here with the onions and the salt and the pepper. We're just going to let this cook. I'm going to raise my heat a little bit. So this is literally just like ground beef and onions over mashed potatoes. It is super simple. It was my grandma's like peasant food from the old country that she just would make all the time, and I adored it when I was a kid. So I'm just gonna make it now. And it's great if you don't have like a lot of money to purchase ingredients, or you've come down to like the end of your groceries and you're like, what do I have? I got 3 things. All right, ground beef, onion, potato, you're set. So I'm gonna let this cook for a bit. Oh, an onion escaped. Oh, well, she cleaned the floor for me. That's good. So we're just gonna stir this, maybe not that vigorously because you don't want to have flying onions. Okie dokie. So when your meat starts to goes from pink to brown, then we know that it's starting to cook. Now ground beef, you do want to make sure you cook this really well because you don't want to have any pink in the meat. You really want to make sure this is cooked. So usually about like 20 minutes generally is how I do it. And plus it also gets to cook the onions down. Okay. So now you take your little gravy packet here. You gotta open it. And then we just pour it in. Now this thing says you need to put a little bit of water. 1 cup water goes in with this. So I'm just gonna put this in because this is our flavor here. And I'm just gonna let this absorb with some of the fat. I'm not gonna add the water yet. I'm just gonna let it absorb. All right. Like that. And let that kind of cook. So that way you just kind of soaks up some of that gravy, that powdered gravy goodness. So it calls for a cup of water. Get your little 1 cup out. Now you could just use simple water, that's fine. Or if you happen to have a broth that you want to use up, you can use that. Now I happen to have some leftover onion soup that we got from Labora. I'm gonna use this because it's been hanging out in my fridge and it needs to go. So I'm just gonna put a cup of this into this. There we go. And that's how we do it. I always say that if you want to like cheat flavor, you can add a soup to your soup, like a Lipton or a Campbell's, or in this case, you know, leftover takeout to what you're cooking. It's a great way and a cheap way to impart more flavor into your dish because you already have it, so you may as well use it. Girls! Yeah. Whiskey! Whiskey! Anyway, guys, I'm... Whiskey! Come here! So I'm just gonna let this cook for a bit. I'm gonna check out my potatoes and then I will show you what the next steps of this recipe are. Okay, so you wait there. Okay guys, so my potatoes are ready to come out of the boiling water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on some little oven mitts here. Take the lid off, be careful because it is steamy, so don't get too close because you don't want to burn yourself. And then I'm going to actually reserve about a 1/3 cup of the starchy water because it has nice flavor to it. Not only from the starch of the potatoes and the salt, but also from that beef stock that we added to it. So you kind of want to use that when you're going to mash potatoes. It's like a nice potato liquor. So I'm going to take this, got my colander here. I'm just going to pour slowly. Remember, be careful. You parents, you do this part. Safety first. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to try to put it back on. I'm going to lower the heat on my element. I'm going to take this, I'm going to give it a shake. So see, because it's been cooking, they're already sort of mashed already. Just put that back in. Like that. Leave that. Put a little bit of your liquor, your potato liquor. And I like to use a little bit of cream. I might use milk depending on what I have. I mean, I have a bit of 10% cream. I'm going to use that. So here's my little 50/50. And I pour probably about a quarter cup in. And now, you get your little potato masher. And you just start to mash a little bit. I just do a little mash, just a little bit in the beginning, because I'm gonna add some butter, you know, because butter makes everything better, you know? So I'm going to take some butter here, and I am going to put it in. So there we go. Take a little bit of little cut of butter here. I'm going to put that in, and then I'm just going to mix it. The most important part. You have to taste your potatoes. So get yourself a little spoon or something, and then we're gonna just taste it to see, does it need more cream? Does it need more milk? Does it need more butter? Probably more butter. Why not? Go for broke. Oh my god. Oh. Okay, we need some salt. Some salt, get a bit more of a mash. So the trick is to not overwork your potatoes. You don't want to end up making like wallpaper paste. You need to know when to mash and when to stop mashing. Okay, let's just do this. Try it again, because you know you gotta make sure. Why are like hot mashed potatoes just so amazing? I'm telling you. Okay, so these are pretty much done. Actually, I lied. I'm gonna add a little bit more butter, just because why not? Why not? You know, life is short. Add more butter, although too much butter make your life a bit shorter, but that's okay. Because right now we are going for flavor. We're in Flavor Town. All right, there we go. Turn that off. Let me show you. These are my nice and soft mashed potato. There'll still be some clumps to them, but you don't want them to be soggy, you don't want them to be too clumpy, you don't want them to taste like wallpaper paste, because you can over process these and they get kind of goopy really quick, so be careful. So again, try it again just to make sure. I'm gonna just eat this. We're just gonna stop here. We're just gonna eat this. That's all we need. Just this and a spoon. We're good. But we're not good because we have some really good ground beef to add to this. So, this ground beef and onions has just been slowly on low, on very, very low, just to keep it warm. It has been kind of absorbing that nice ground beef fat, the onion, that beef packet that we put in. I use some of the water. Again, I use my leftover soup from Labora, but you can use regular beef stock, chicken stock, or just water really, because there's enough flavor in that beef packet, let's be honest, that you don't really need anything else. I just like to add more because for me, more is more. I'm a child of the 80s, what can I say? But anyway, we are done. Now, we just have to plate. So, you wait there, and I'm gonna plate this up, and then I'm gonna eat it because like it smells really good. So you wait there. So this is the end result. It is literally just a bowl of mashed potatoes and ground beef, onions, and gravy with a little bit of parsley on top, a little bit of cracked black pepper, and that is it. This is a really simple, really quick meal. I mean, my grandma would feed 7 people in about a half an hour with this, because you know you don't have time when you have 5 kids and a husband to feed. So this is what she would make. It just invokes childhood memories for me. The taste is amazing. It's so like, this is like my ultimate comfort food. And it's really cheap and really easy to make. So if you are running low on groceries, remember, you need some ground beef, some potatoes, some onions, and like a little beef brown gravy packet, and you're done. So I'm going to go and enjoy this luscious, scrumptious meal. And I hope you like this video. I hope you try making it. And I hope that you like and subscribe to the Miss Ashley YouTube Storytime channel for more great videos of various content. So until next time, take care, stay safe, and bon appetit. This is it, man. This is it. That's all you need in life. Good carbs. Oh. Okay. Oh my gosh.